This is part three of the medical industry doesn't care about the disabled and patient with anxiety disorder. I would like to close this thing out on anxiety by saying the federal government say I'm gonna save millions of lives in the future if I write about my medical experience. And at the time I had no medical experience because I never been to the hospital before. I went to the hospital like 20 years later after the fight. But they researched and noticed certain things, I guess, by listening to phone calls and say listen to every phone call since I went in kindergarten. They check all my records since I went in kindergarten. They say they already knew me. They put my file in kindergarten because they say their grading system is different than schools and colleges. They grading system pull out geniuses at an early age. Did what the man told me now. And he said, we pulled your file when you were in kindergarten. I said, but I was making all F. They labeled me retarded. He said, well, we got different grading systems. He said, our grading system said you was a genius and one of the smartest person on the planet. You a real type of genius. You ain't like a Bill Gates or nobody. But you a type of genius who can make it in the bottom of the pits with the poorest element in society. And you can mingle amongst billionaires and they won't even know the difference. That's what type of genius you live. If they throw you in any situation in the world, you're going to come out in it. You're going to come out on top. She said they put you in the jungle with 20 other geniuses. Guess the only one going to walk out alive and enjoy it. That's who you is, son. And they say you're going to be one of the only black leaders to save millions and millions and millions of whites. If you write about the golfing industry and the medical industry, you saving millions of blacks in the faraway future because you're going to let them know things ahead of time. And when they go in a hospital, they're going to say, that's what David said. They checking my diabetes while I'm eating. That ain't right. Wait a minute. They got me on a retinal diet. Is something wrong with my kidneys? Then the nurse called the lunchroom. Then the lunchroom called the doctor. He say, no, there's nothing wrong with his kidneys. I don't know how he got on a retinal diet. And I told the nurse, they setting it up for future use. They want to put it on my record as early as possible because they taking out people's kidneys by the millions to put them on dialysis so they can get more money, more money. They don't care who get the money. One thing I learned, the industry look out for each other. You can go to the hospital in Florida and they try something on you and you go to New York. Guess what? If New York find out you went to the hospital in Florida, they're going to call and continue where they left off at because it's all about keeping money in the industry. I have seen it a million times. Long with that money in the industry, they're happy. And what I would like to see in the faraway future for people who are disabled and people with anxiety or any kind of other mental disorder, each hospital needs a special section of trained nurses who is sensitive to people who disabled and people with anxiety disorder. I'm going to tell you, What I done seen in every hospital I've been in, they angry at the disabled person. I done been in room with disabled person and they slapping them in the back of the head because as they put it on the pamper, the person is still releasing. And they slapping the back of the head, say, stop, stop, stop. This the third pamper. I'm looking at this shit. It was a Haitian man who didn't speak English. And the nurse was saying, why you in this country and can't speak English? You've been in this country for 40 years. It's a damn shame. They should deport all y'all. I'm looking at this. I'm in the room. And they forget. And then they look back. And then they pull my curtain. So I can't see no more. They treat disabled people like shit in the hospital or the elderly. They seem like, and even in the nursing home, they seem like they frustrated. Why I got to get him? I'm tired of putting him in the wheelchair. I'm tired of wiping his butt. They get mad at the person. So I think all hospitals should have trained specialized nurses for disabled people. And yes, they need to make more money than a regular nurse. And I would like to see them cater to people with anxiety. The main argument, what I heard in nursing home, and it happened to me, when you get in the nursing home, they stop your anxiety medication. One guy went berserker, two of them. They say every time I come in the nursing home, they stop my anxiety medication. They dangerous. I could kill somebody. And I'm scared because I'm in the room with this motherfucker. And then they stop my anxiety medication. I used to go to the bathroom. The nurse come, and I count them 15 times. He said, I'll take you when I come back. Next thing I know, it's a new nurse, and at 11 o'clock at night now. It started when I was 8 o'clock. 8 in the morning. Now it's 11 at night. I didn't go to the bathroom till the next day because everyone come, they say, when I come back, I'll take you to the bathroom. I ain't lying. I counted 15 times. Altogether, it was 24 times. By the second day, it was 24 times they said that. Then they stopped my medication for anxiety. And I had an IV pole. That's why I couldn't just get up and go to the bathroom. I was hooked to an IV. And I got so mad. I grabbed the IV pole. I said, God damn it. I don't wait for people to make decisions. God damn it, I'll find a way. And I went in the bathroom. Remind you, I walk with a walker, but I used the IV pole to walk in the bathroom. I used the bathroom and was out in 10 minutes. When I come back, they grabbed my walker, took it out the room. They unhooked me from the IV pole because they realized I can walk with the IV pole. But normally they unhook me, and then I get my walker and go in the bathroom. But they got mad and took the walker and the IV pole because nobody ain't let me go to the bathroom that day. My biggest anxiety, because every time I go out of town and go to the bathroom, I don't care if I've been going to that store my whole life. They'll say, the bathroom out of order. The bathroom out of order. Some Middle Eastern people who I thought we were brothers, I paid their electricity bill. I do everything for him. And this guy here, I done gave him personal protection 2 or 3 times because he got robbed and beat up real bad. And then I had to use the bathroom. I say, hey man, I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh, but I told buddy. Then a white lady come behind me, so I gotta go to the bathroom. He handed her the key. This been my friend for over 20 years. And my buddy said, God damn, he racist? I say, must be. He just let that white woman go to the bathroom. He say, man, you done spent hundreds of dollars on that motherfucker buying him personal protection stuff. So me and my buddy say, hey man, let you go outside. and stand in front of the bathroom. He said, you park in front of the bathroom anyway. When that lady come out, catch the door, tell her hold the door open. So when the lady come out, I said, hold the door. I use the bathroom. It was sparkling clean, but he told me the bathroom was out of order. It would toe up and poop all over the bathroom and urine. He lied. The bathroom was so clean you could have eat off the floor. But that way I get anxiety from or shitting on myself. One time it was hard for me to even travel because I was scared what's gonna happen if I got the shit. Because it happened a million times. Nobody let me use the bathroom. Nobody let my ex-wife use the bathroom. Nobody let my daughter use the bathroom. And we've been shopping in these places for years. But we never had to use the bathroom. So yes, I got an anxiety with it. In a nursing home, hospitals don't make it better. God damn it, y'all got to hire somebody whose job is just to help people go to the bathroom. Hire them. It's important to the person who got to use the bathroom. It might not be important to the average healthy person, but to that person who's sick, laying in a hospital bed, and y'all tell them, say, like when I go to the hospital because I had a walker, they got an alarm on the bed. If I sit up in the bed like this, or I try to get out of bed, the alarm go off and it look like police car. Whoop, 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 and everybody come running. And I done made that alarm go off a couple of times. And I'm in the bathroom when they all come running. Don't get to the bathroom. Don't get to the bathroom. I said, you told me that 12 hours ago. But see, the other one don't know that I've been trying to go to the bathroom to it. They say, he been trying to go for 12 hours? Yeah, but I've been busy all day because I got extra. But what that got to do with me got to go in the bathroom? And I can go to the bathroom by myself. Just cut the alarm off the bed and let me go to the bathroom by myself. You ain't got to help me in the bathroom. But see, that alarm on the bed that makes you think you old and elderly. Because if all you got to do for me to go to the bathroom is cut the alarm off the bed, and then I get up and go to the bathroom myself, why is the alarm on the bed? Because they put on the paperwork that I need extra care. So now when I go to other hospitals, because I went 100 miles to another hospital, they put the alarm on my bed. I said, what the alarm for? Me and the nurses were fighting. I say, I never fell down. Why y'all got cautions around my bed? Why y'all got an alarm on my bed? When I ever fell down in this hospital? And the nurse went to arguing because they went to school, they know more than somebody who's 60 years old and they just 21. I called the doctor. The doctor comes. Why the alarm on the bed? Because he's a fall risk. The doctor said, when have he ever fall? He done been here 4 times. And not on the record say he fall. But I just want to be safe. Doctor said, cut that alarm off that man's bed and take that band off him. Talk about flight risk or fall risk. You get what I'm saying? And again, when you do that, be careful. Because she could have poked me with hepatitis. She could have poked me with an HIV needle. Because they mean and spiteful and hateful. And they hate when a regular person outdo them. But I try to tell the young nurses, hey baby, you know what? They were taking my blood pressure 40 years before you were born. In no possible way for you to know more about blood pressure than me. And they get mad. But it's the truth. But I hope in the future, these schools teach these doctors that black people feel pain. Black people need painkiller also. That anxiety is real. And it's not nothing just made up. And when you go to the hospital or the doctor, if you got anxiety, your blood pressure is going to be in the 200. Because you're going to places you never been before, and you're looking at faces you never been before. Quick, acting surprised. Like the last time I went to the doctor, I told him my whole blood pressure story. I done been tested by everybody, Social Security, hospital. And I say, when I first get in the facility, it take me 3 years to get used to it. And if they use the same person every time to check my blood pressure, it'll go down in 1 year. I said my blood pressure normally be 250 over 200 when I first go somewhere, but they done did every test on me, and they said nothing wrong with me. Now, they took my blood pressure where I was 180 over 90. I told the lady and my cousin, and she said, you sure? What it be when you at home? I say 118, 78, over 78, 118 over 78. She said, oh, that's pretty low. And yeah. And sometimes I just take 1 or 2 pills a day, and that what it be. And I put to take 3 pills a day. But I say the pills, one of the bottle in case I run out for emergency stash, right? But now she's talking about the blood pressure. Or your blood pressure high, your kidney gone, your liver. This lady must be make money on kidneys and liver. But when I went home, I grabbed my blood pressure machine and I told her before I left, I said, now watch when I walk through my door, my blood pressure gonna be way below normal. I did my blood pressure. Showed it to my cousin. Cause you know everybody think you're lying. And my cousin say 18, he say 104, 72. He said, how your blood pressure went low that? I say anxiety, man. I say, but doctors don't know what anxiety is. And they'll tell you, oh, anxiety ain't got nothing to do with your blood pressure going up. Let me tell you something. And I'm a professional now because I've been checking my blood pressure and going to the doctor more than normal people because they have black people to come to the doctor every 3 months to fill their prescription. And I did that for almost 6 years. Even though the insurance company told them, so no, he just had to go in once a year. Or twice a year. They make me go every 3 months. That didn't change until I went out of town to Walgreens doctors. And they started having me come in once a year for 3 years in a row. Once a year, 3 years in a row. Now I'm back home. Where I went to that lady who talk about kidneys and liver. I bet you any amount of money. When she write my prescription, it's going to be for 90 days. Because she's going to want me to get them office visits because I want nobody in the office. I get scared to hell when I go in the doctor's office and ain't nobody coming that bitch for 4 hours. That make me scared. And I told my cousin that. I say, this lady needs some regular income. So she going to make something happen. But ain't nothing finna happen with me because I'm not finna get caught up in that bullshit no more. I've lost 5 years of my life because of a toe infection. And that ain't finna happen no more. Just give me my medication and let me go and let me die in peace. One thing Ted Bundy told me, Godson, never let nobody decide how you die, and never get yourself in a situation where you got to ask a man, can I go to the bathroom now? Or can I get a book? Ted told me never get in that situation. And he also told me about the medical industry. He said the most dangerous place, remember that back in 83, he said the most dangerous place for a black man is the medical industry. Because that way all the psycho killers at now. Because we all realize and we talk about it in prison. The safest place for a serial killer is the medical industry. Because they can kill thousands of people. Because nobody watching them. And everybody trusts a doctor over a regular person. Be careful, Godson. Because they done traded the white hoods for white coats and skeptical coats. And that's what Ted Bundy told me. So everybody, be careful. And remember, the new medical industry is about generating money. It ain't about you getting well or you getting health. The food is poison. When I eat food now, I used to eat back in the 80s and 70s. I'll be okay. I don't use the bathroom for 2 or 3 days. Not as soon as I eat it, it come right out of me. I'm on the toilet for 2 and 3 hours. Something wrong with the food, man. My foot get tight. My hands get tight. They get numb with the food I used to eat. Things have changed now. The game done changed. Y'all better change with it. Thank you and God bless.